Most Google Shopping campaigns fail before they even get a chance to work, simply because the setup is wrong. Google Shopping ads are the single best way to drive highly qualified traffic to your website, but only if you do it the right way, so that Google can push the right products to the right people. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liam. I'm founder of Vulcan. We're a premier Google Ads agency for e-commerce brands, and our team have generated millions in revenue using Google Shopping ads and this exact framework that I'm about to show you today. So with that said, let's get right into the video. So inside in Google Ads, we're going to click on this blue plus button to create a new campaign. And the first question will be asked is, what's our campaign objective? We can either choose sales here, as we will be looking to create a shopping campaign to generate sales on our e-commerce website, or else we can actually create a campaign without guidance, which is fine too, because it doesn't actually have any effect on your campaign settings later on. Select a campaign type. So the campaign we are going to select today is shopping. We then want to ensure that our conversion goal is set to purchase. If we are an e-commerce store or Shopify store, we want to make sure that our conversion tracking is set up correctly. Without that, none of our campaigns will work well at all. The next thing that we're going to do is add products to this campaign. To advertise products on your website, select a Merchant Center account. So your Merchant Center account should already be linked to your Google Ads account. When you click on this button here, it will bring up your Merchant Center account. Click on that and you'll be able to start running some products through this shopping ad. Next up, you'll be asked to select a campaign subtype, and this is the first of Google's sneaky tricks when it comes to setting up a campaign. Google is going to encourage you to set up a Performance Max campaign. Now, a Performance Max campaign contains shopping ads, but it also contains search ads, video ads, display, discover ads. So it's all across Google's ecosystem. So if you are just looking to run shopping ads, it's not the best approach. So for this video, we're clicking standard shopping campaign, and we're going to create a shopping campaign, and we're going to create it for our best sellers. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is give it a daily budget, an average daily budget, the amount it's going to spend on average per day. There is an option here to give our campaign a total budget over a set duration, but because we want to keep this campaign running indefinitely, as long as we're seeing results, we're just going to set an average daily budget, and for the purpose of the video, I'm going to say $50. Next up is your bidding strategy, and I have a video on the channel where I go in depth into different bidding strategies, when it makes sense to run manual bid strategies versus smart bidding strategies. I'm going to link it up here, and for this step-by-step shopping campaign video, I'll give you a brief synopsis of bid strategies and which ones I recommend. So if you're starting out in a new account, you're advertising new products, it's a new campaign, well then I recommend running either manual CPC or Maximise Clicks. The reason for that is your conversion pixel doesn't have a lot of data, it doesn't know much about your products, your brand, your customers, etc. And because of that, if you were to opt for smart bidding, you could expect really choppy initial performance, because smart bidding doesn't have that conversion data to learn from. If you are in a well-seasoned account, if your conversion pixel, for example, has seen a lot of traffic and a lot of volume through those products that you are looking to advertise, well then you could actually theoretically jump straight to smart bidding. And the way you would do that in shopping is via target ROAS bidding. But for this, I am going to select manual CPC, assuming it is a new account, it is a new set of products that we're advertising. And then next up, I am going to bid equally for new and existing customers, and we can keep campaign priority to low. Something to be aware of if you are looking to run a non-branded shopping campaign, which a lot of people will be, and you also have a branded shopping campaign, then you will look to change the priority levels of this non-branded campaign. You will look to set this to high, and you would then add a negative branded keyword list. I actually have another video on the channel all about that. And in that instance, then your branded shopping campaign would be set to a low priority. We'll just assume we are setting up one standard shopping campaign. It's not branded, it's more so non-branded. For location options, we are going to advertise in the US. This is the second of Google's sneaky tactics, and it is this option here. So in presence or interest, people regularly in or who've shown interest in your included locations. Google recommends this setting, as opposed to presence only, which is people in or regularly in your included locations. Now, I'm not currently based in the US, but Google would deem me as having a really strong interest in the US. I'm always looking at news in the US, economics, I'm looking at businesses in the US, understanding advertising in the US. So I spend a lot of my time online in the US space. So Google will put me down as someone who's interested in the US. And then as a result of this default setting, I could theoretically be served ads for this United States location. Now, if you're an e-commerce brand and you only ship to the US and you don't ship internationally, well, then you're definitely not going to want to advertise to someone like myself, who is currently based internationally away from the US and is not someone that you will be able to ship product to. So make sure you change that to presence. We'll keep local products turned off. We'll say no to EU political campaigns. And then inside more settings, the only other thing then, I would turn off Google search partners and just focus on Google search, as I just find it slightly more efficient. The only other thing here, just to be careful of, is don't select an end date for your campaign. So if you select an end date for a month's time, and then you wake up one morning and you look to review your shopping campaign performance and it stopped running, well, it could be because you set an end date and then forgot about it. So Instead of that, you're actually much better off just having it on indefinitely. And if you do want to turn it off, you just make the conscious decision then to pause that campaign. Next up, we are going to give our ad group a name, so we can just call it Shopping Bestsellers. What we'll do next is enter our cost per click bid for our ad group. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the keyword research tool in Google Ads to actually try and get an estimate of where is a good place to start my initial bid, so that I'm competitive enough that I'm able to enter auctions initially, but not so much so that I'm overpaying for clicks from the get-go. Let's say I'm selling microphones. I've got one in front of me here, microphones for podcast. Let's have a look and see what the results are like for that. So I can see 22,000 average monthly searches. I have a brand here, so Shure, which is actually the one I'm using at the moment. But I can refine this and I can actually look over here and just say, I don't want any brands or any sites like that included, and get a sense of, or any other brands as well. I can actually just get a sense of, okay, microphones for podcast, best podcast microphone, podcast mic, best mic for podcasting. So what I'm seeing here is a bid range between 40 cents at the low range and say $1.95 at the high end. So this would be on the search network, what you could expect to pay on the search network. Generally, shopping placements are a little bit cheaper, 20-30% I find on average. Now, I wouldn't actually be averse to starting my bids in and around this initial place, so 40 to maybe 60 cent. I think that would be a reasonable place to start. It might be coming in a little too low, but it's always better to come in a little too low and then gradually increase your bids as you're getting more confident, you're cleaning up your traffic, etc. For now, I'll just set it to 50 cent. And next up are product groups. So by default, this will be set to all products, in which case this shopping campaign will serve all of our products. But if I want to filter it, I can use a selection of products. So I can filter by things like category, brand, item ID, condition, so new or used, product type, or things like custom labels. So if you are very familiar with shopping and Google Merchant Center in general, you would know that custom labels are a really useful way for tagging some of your products, either by tagging them as high margin products, seasonality, so it could be like a winter collection or a summer collection if you're a clothing or apparel company. It could be to do with best sellers, so that would be very useful in this instance. If we were tagging some of our best selling products as best sellers in custom label 0, well then we could just go ahead and click custom label 0 and that would actually pull in our best sellers. But let's say we're not doing any of that. We actually just want to go and manually look through our catalog and select a series of our best sellers. And let's just say it's this 3 products here. I'm going to go ahead and click on save and click on next. So it tells me my campaign is ready to publish. I have my budget, what bidding we're on, my location. I have my product groups, my bid. Yeah, I'm happy here. So I can go ahead and publish this campaign. And then the next thing that we are going to want to do is go to our product groups. Our product group is essentially the list of our products that are serving. And you can see down this left-hand side here, you've got green buttons or green circles. These indicate that the products are active and that we would be serving them. So you have all products kind of blurred out here because we've subdivisions. Subdivisions down here are the 3 best-selling products. And then we have something called everything else in all products. And Google, the kind of third sneaky thing that they do is leave this active, even though we wanted to only select a series of products. So what we actually have to do is come over here and manually exclude those, because if we don't, Google will start running traffic to those products as well, even though we have called this our bestseller campaign and we were consciously looking to only focus on 3 products. So from there, then you can have a couple of other optimizations. You can do things like turning down bids on tablets. They tend to be slightly less efficient. Some people recommend doing that from the start. Sometimes I do it. It depends on the account maturity. The other thing that I would recommend doing, if this is a non-branded campaign, well, then you can add your brand negative keyword list here to ensure that you're not serving for any brand queries. Then it's up to yourself whether or not you want to create a dedicated branded shopping campaign to defend against competitors on your brand. The other thing then would be having a universal negative keyword list on terms you never want to serve for. So that could be terms like returns or warranty or contact. They may be things that you are happy for your organic listing to do and you don't really want to be paying money to serve ads to those people. And that is it. That is your shopping campaign set up. All the settings that you need to follow in order to waste as little ad spend as possible from the get-go. So the more focused your campaign is from the start, the more efficient it will be from the start and the easier it will be to scale that campaign with time. Now, even if you set up Google Shopping the right way, setup alone won't carry performance long term. Your product feed, your daily optimizations, your conversion tracking, these decide whether shopping campaigns will grow or slowly waste budget over time. If you want help setting this up, or you feel like your Google Ads campaigns are not working as hard as they could be, check out the link in the description below and book a free strategy call with me today. And if you want to learn more about Google Shopping, check out this next video where I break down the campaign optimizations to take your shopping ads to the next level. I'll see you in the next one.